like my overall impact on like animal agriculture is going to be like really, really, really small if I personally just become a vegan. Like maybe you can make an argument for me lying about being vegan.
Yes, but it's not that small as you think, because you're a public figure. You have hundreds of thousands of followers. You have millions of views. You have
but whatever.
And you're a pioneer of like
Sure,
Twitch streaming.
but it's not enough to offset.
Like,
It's not
big.
okay. It's not enough to offset like the huge loss that I would endure personally.
What huge loss? What are you
because
talking
meat is
about?
fucking good. There's a lot of good ass fucking food that vegans can't eat, and it's like a measurable loss to not be able to have that.
Yeah, you can still have food that tastes good as like meat.
No, the animal substitutes. They're really bad. They're not good.
Well, have you tried Beyond Meat?
Yep, and the Impossible Burger and everything. I sure have.
And the Impossible. Okay.
It's not good. It's nowhere near. It's okay. Like if I just want like a whatever burger, it's okay, but it's nowhere near as good as like an actual like juicy fucking like burger, sirloin or whatever, or steak
I'm
or whatever.
saying you're kind of contradicting yourself with your earlier.
I'm not contradicting myself at all. It's the same thing with like when we argue about like.
You said people should generally do what they can so people don't get hurt.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Now, okay, this is why I was hesitant to answer that question. Okay, so when I say that people should generally do what they can to make it so people can't hurt, I'm gonna have to amend that statement. Okay, I know you're gonna use it against me. Like when I say generally, what I mean is like within like a reasonable scope. So for instance, I don't think that people should donate every single dollar they have to save starving children in Africa. I don't think that's reasonable. Okay, or for instance,
can you repeat that last statement? Sorry, I was talking.
I don't think people should donate every single penny they have to like starving children in Africa. Okay, even though that would generally probably be a good thing. I don't think that's reasonable, right? Because it would be like
okay, I agree.
Okay, so like for instance, like I also am in favor of higher tax policy. I'm not going to donate more of my taxes to the federal government just for memes because I don't think it'll accomplish anything on its own. Same thing with like going like vegan. I don't think that going vegan on its own is going to necessarily like do enough to make up for like the large offset of personal losses for me. That's why I'm not going to do it. Like I'll advocate for vegan positions ethically, and I'll say that for like animal agriculture and shit and environmental stuff, we should vote against it. But personally, going vegan represents enough of a measurably bad change in my life that I'm not willing to do it just because I might influence a few more people to go vegan.
Okay, so you address two issues. The first one is practicality. I agree with you that people are not able to like don't donate like every cent of their dollar to like poor African children. That's just not a reasonable and practicable take. Which is why going vegan is cheaper. It's not expensive as like eating meat, so you really have nothing to lose and everything to gain. It's better for the environment. It's healthier for you.
Wait, how do you say I have nothing to lose but anything to gain? I like eating meat. Like meals are a big part of my life.
And for a few short weeks, the cattle feed on crops of native grasses. Then forage and water, the essential raw materials of the beef production line, are plentiful.
So I still don't get what you're disagreeing with. You agreed that people should generally do what's practicable and reasonable, so that people don't get
and
hurt.
I would argue that me giving up meat
like
is
no
not a
loss.
practical, reasonable thing. There is a loss. I like meat.
It's
me not eating meat, like me not eating meat. Like you're just like you don't care about that. Like, and I understand why you personally don't. But like
yes, but you agreed through example that people can't donate money to Africa. It's just not practicable or reasonable.
Why? No. It's not that it's not practical or reasonable. It's that it represents like a huge personal harm to them, and I don't think it accomplishes enough good to justify the personal loss.
There is no huge personal harm.
There is though. I really like eating meat. That's a huge personal harm to me. Is not eating meat anymore.
What, really?
Yes.
You really? What if I really like making fun of trans and black people and women? Like you can make the same argument against for that.
Okay, and if you were living
exactly.
No, but the difference is that in the society that we have today, right? Like these things are not things that are these are like hotly contested issues. So like for instance, I might make like the same argument like 500 years ago. Hold on one second. I might make the argument like 500 years ago to be like, if somebody's saying like, oh, well, should I be pro or anti-slavery or whatever? And if some guy decides to be anti-slavery, it causes him to be ostracized from his whole family. Like everybody hates him. He has no life. He gets fired from his job, blah, 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 blah. Like in those cases, I would make the same argument, right? Where like if being anti-slavery carried with it like a massive personal cost or whatever, that was so much more than like just taking the more moral position or whatever. That's like, yeah, sure.
The moral and philosophical argument in this case is the least interesting part of the video. You guys already know. The question we have to ask is, who has suffered less? Yeah, you know what? You might have historically lived in a country where debating slavery wasn't just a debate on the internet. It wasn't just a GoFundMe page where you had to click on a button and donate money to make something happen. It wasn't just a referendum you had to vote on. If you wanted to abolish slavery in the United States for a certain generation, the question was, would you or would you not fight in a civil war? And the willingness to fight in war is not the same as the willingness to kill somebody. It's really easy to romanticize war in these ways. A large number of people in war never really see combat, or even if they're there at the battle, they're not right on the battlefront. But war, historically, involved going hungry. It involved the devastation of cities. Even in the Korean War, one of the most common anecdotes was of people eating toothpaste, that they had a tube of toothpaste because they were starving to death. Provisions ran out. The hardships of war very often have nothing to do with violence. They're the indirect consequences of violence, that because of violence elsewhere, you have no water, no food, no electricity, none of the comforts of home. So yeah, if you want to abolish slavery, in many cases historically, it involved something as extreme as war, even in countries where it wasn't accomplished by war, where it was accomplished through, government policy from the top down. Normally a very interesting history, a very interesting struggle that involved tremendous personal sacrifice on behalf of the people who were going to implement it. So that's the philosophical side of this video. It's so simple, it doesn't even seem worth my while to bother saying it. This guy, Destiny, I've spoken to him directly 3 times, I think. The first time I didn't even know who he was. I was in a group conversation on Discord with other people talking, and I could sort of tell other people thought of him as famous or a big deal. So then, I went and Googled to figure out who he was. In a sense, I still don't know who he is. I mean, in the 21st century, people are famous just for being famous. I've never even heard it said that this guy is especially good at playing video games, but apparently he became an internet personality by playing video games. And what he's ended up doing is creating a discussion group, Discord, on Discord. Discord's the application. He has a discussion group where a lot of kind of mainstream left of center people gather to talk politics. I joined that Discord server very briefly. I joined in the discussions there because Caleb spoke highly of it. Caleb has the YouTube channel, Faraday Speaks. I thought, okay, I'll give it a chance. And you know what? While I think Destiny himself is an imbecile, he's just a person. I've never seen him say anything intelligent. I've never seen him do anything intelligent. I've never seen any evidence that he does original research or anything else that make him worth listening to. On that Discord forum, I think there are a lot of intelligent and sincere people. I think there were a lot of people there trying to learn new things and trying to challenge themselves. I saw a lot of evidence of personal growth and sincere interaction with people there. And I was kicked out. I was banned. I was permanently banned from that Discord group. Nothing to do with veganism, nothing to do with politics. Someone in the Discord group was insisting, they were really angry about it, they were insisting that there was no medical harm caused by using marijuana. That's something I've talked about on this YouTube channel in the past. It's like, no, there is very real scientific evidence that marijuana does cause brain damage, causes other forms of physical ailment. And I suppose the person I was talking to was a moderator or what have you, but I was kicked out and banned for that reason and with no further explanation. So my own interactions with this guy, Destiny, are otherwise, not that interesting to recall or reflect on. The reality is, in politics, most of what we're dealing with is highly emotive thinking. It's motivated reasoning. It's reasoning that's not reasonable because people are only interested in offering a justification for their desires. When the human mind is made a servant to the body's desires, it's no better than any other bludgeoning instrument.
I mean, really, people like to disrespect my crew, but the fact is that you know my name and I don't know you.